In the bottom right corner, the red Zerg, Jaco. In the top left corner, the blue Protoss, Shaky. And this series, this best of 5, is now tied at 1 apiece. Jaco, finally getting his Baneling bust to work for him, was successful with it. Did a bit of a delayed bust, just got tons of Ling and Bane. Busting down the gateway. And then the Lings had a lot of surface area to work with, once the side core also went down. And the Stalker probe composition, with already drained shield batteries, was not enough for Shaky to hold. And he's, again, unable to get the pylon block off here on Jaco. So Jaco shown in the last game that if he can start his game off well and his hatchery isn't blocked, he can actually put himself in a position to win the game. So very interesting to see what's going to happen here in this third game. Series is tied. Shaky, meanwhile, going for the same build as last game. He's going Gateway Nexus with the delayed assimilator. He wants to get that full mineral saturation as quickly as possible. He's chronoing out probes. Now the side core is going to go down for Shaky. And again, always when Jaco's playing, the question is, will he do the Baneling bust again? That's the question you got to ask yourself. And so far, he's 1-0 with the Baneling bust against Shaky. So, in my opinion, he should just keep using this strategy until Shaky proves that he can hold it. Because so far, Shaky had it scouted in the last game, and he still couldn't hold. So in the event that Shaky can't muster the appropriate response to hold in this series, Jaco can just abuse this build. And that could be a path to taking this series for him. So let's see what Jaco does here. He's got a drone. A Ling here. Let's look at the production tab. 8 Lings actually in production. Ling speed coming. And the Baneling nest is going down. So it does indeed look like Jaco is going for the Baneling bust. Once again. Probably going through the same logic I just went through. He wants to test the chin of Shaky. I mean, Shaky has that screen name or nickname for a reason. He has a bit of a history of letting the moment get to him. And doing some shaky plays, so to speak. A little bit of wiggling. But he's shown himself lately to be a good player, at least in the first game. Busting onto the scene and having an impressive showing so far. But will the moment get to him? Will the pressure get to him? He couldn't stop the Baneling bust in the last game. Now this is his first featured tournament online, being broadcast here in the BSL League. So this is the most pressure he's really had on him in his Starcraft career. So will he be shaky, so to speak? Or will he be solid in his defense? Now he's gone for the Zealots instead. 2 Zealots blocking the wall. He's got a Stalker coming out. He's got a second battery coming up as well. But now, oh, this time the shield batteries heal the units. And the Banelings were targeting the units. And that Zealot was able to tank a lot of damage. The second Zealot got recharged. Holding. And Shaky looks like he's held at least the first wave of Jaco's assault. Let's see if Jaco transitions. No, he's building 10 more Lings, 5 more Banelings. He is OV capped at 44. Decides to take an extractor to free up 1 supply. Meanwhile, Shaky has a probe set up in the third base. He's done a good job this series kind of monitoring the third base for block opportunities. And here we go again. The Baneling bust was just missed, but it was not able to take out the side core. But these Lings do. The overcharge is doing work on these Stalkers. And here we go. A third battery is actually coming up here for Shaky. He knew that 2 wasn't enough in the last game. He put a third battery up this time. And that was a pretty dicey exchange, but so far Shaky is holding. He has 1 Immortal on the way. And no transition by Jaco. He's just pumping out 14 more Lings, 5 more Banelings. Shaky's trying to rebuild those buildings. He doesn't have that many gateways actually up. He's only on 2 gate. He's trying to get his 3rd gateway up. He has a Robo with an Immortal. So Jaco has invested a lot in this. Just now he's starting to drone behind. 3 drones come out. And he's looking to bust the front. Pulling away. He's going back in. A little bit of a rethinking rather, by Jaco. He's turning back. I guess he saw how many batteries were actually up there. And with the Immortal, the Stalkers, figured he can't actually break it. But he did delay his droning to get these extra Lings out. So these Lings unable to find damage, or these Banelings unable to find damage, it's not great for him, because now he's low on drones and he's only 2 base against 2 base. Shaky's probe still blocking the 3rd. And Jaco should be taking a 3rd at any time. Rather, he went triple spine. He's actually kind of scared of Shaky's army. And with reason, because we have a lot of Stalkers here. We have an Immortal out. And the Robo facility, it's a little bit idle for Shaky right now. He has the money to spend on another Immortal. Or Warp Prism even. And it's just a little bit of idle time. Okay, he puts a 2nd Robo down and now starting another Immortal. Not the biggest deal in the world at this level. Robo Bay also coming. So perhaps Shaky is going to transition again into Colossi. Like in the first game. And now Jaco going back onto the map. Probably checking to see if Shaky's planted a 3rd base. And to see if he can actually deny it. That would be my guess. But he's got to actually check the base location. This Overlord here, actually rather 2 Lings, spotting for Shaky's 3rd base. Over here, and Jaco's got to realize that it doesn't seem like a 3rd base is coming. And he's got to start production of roaches, I believe. Yep, he has a Roach Warren down. He's getting +1 missile. So, he needs to pump roaches here to defend. He's a little bit down in workers. But Shaky has not shown signs of wanting to take a 3rd base. Rather, he is just powering up with a large army here. He's had the worker advantage all game. And I think now he's realized he can parlay that into a strong 2-base push. It's going to be really hard for Jaco to defend. And Jaco knows the 3rd base is not coming. So he needs to be pumping roaches ASAP. He's got about 40 to supply of overhead to play with. But let's look at the production tab. He's not building any roaches. Well, 4 roaches actually just started. But he's going to need more than that to hold. He's going to need a lot of roaches. But he's actually still droning. 3 drones coming out. And Jaco needs to keep the injects coming so he can continually pump roaches from these hatcheries right now. Because he has a big push coming his way from Shaky. Delaying spot the push timing. He knows it's coming. 7 roaches in production now from Jaco. He's moved the spines to the middle of the map. These Lings and Banes coming down. He'll need those for the defense. The roaches coming out for Jaco. The Lings are coming. The spines are here. Shaky going on the left side now. Stalkers take out an Overlord. That actually caps Jaco. Roaches are very supply intensive, and he lost an Overlord. And he has no Overlords in production. And his army here is getting sliced and diced. The Immortal's going to work on the Queens. And look at this, the Zealots now coming forward. And wow, we had a couple of Zealots stuck behind the Stalkers, but that actually worked out well because they were protected against the Banelings. And look at this, Jaco is just plowing, or rather getting plowed, by Shaky's army. And Shaky is just taking out the Spine Crawlers. Immortal's doing short work of them. And the Colossi burning through everything as well. And Jaco just did not have enough army on the back foot of that failed rush attempt to deal with this 2-base push from Shaky. Shaky grabbed his third Nexus as he was pushing out. And he is in a dominant position. GG has been called. Game number 3 goes to Shaky. He's up 2-1 in this best of 5. Jaco still has not officially left. There it is. GG.